A very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the Daily News Analysis by Tathastu ICS. I am Umang and today I will be taking your DNA session for the date 22nd of November. We will be covering the Hindu Delhi edition. I hope I am audible to all of you. Good evening all the students. Am I audible? Okay. Before moving ahead, this is the QR code for the Telegram channel so that you can get access to the PDF that we are discussing in the session. Okay, the same has also been attached in the description box for your reference. Okay, good evening Ankur, Rajesh, good evening Dharam, good evening all the students who have joined. Okay, let's begin with the articles. So this is the front page of today's newspaper, right? And we have a very disheartening tragedy that happened with the Tejas fighter aircraft which crashed during the Dubai Air Show, and we of course the pilot wing commander Naman Sayal was also, he died in this accident, right? Chaliye, coming to the other articles that we are covering, keeping in mind our syllabus. So the first article is related to the codification of the labor laws, or we can say the center notifies the 4 new labor codes. Okay, I am audible. It's on page number 1 only. Okay, good evening all the students. The second article that we are doing is the Sangai festival on page number 4. Then the third one is an editorial from the editorial section. It's rethinking a symbol of environmental responsibility on page number 6. Then overcoming resistance, again a small editorial from the section, and it is talking about antimicrobial resistance. And the next one is a small article which I think most of you must have not read it, right? So it is the National Action Plan for Prevention and Control of Snake Bites Venoming. Okay, so why this is important? Because there have been previously thrice and 4 times, I would say, questions have come on snake bites also, or on Indian snakes as well. So this is one of the species which is not very frequently you are studying about. Okay, so we will solve the questions also, and let's begin with the session. Okay, chalo, coming to the first one, that is the first news that we are having. So this is the first article. The center notifies the 4 new labor codes. Now the labor codes you all have studied. It is important that we have studied it previously also. हमारी country में बहुत सारे 29 fragmented laws थे, उनको हमने codify कर दिया है into 4 major codes. Okay, yes, Hussain, you are right. Okay, now the center on Friday has notified the all 4 labor codes, ushering in major reforms, okay, whereby we will be providing universal social security coverage even for the gig workers, promising a gender pay parity, expanding the rights, okay, and safety for the workers also, and specifically women workers as well. Okay, now the Code on Wages 2019, the Industrial Relations Code 2020, the Code on Social Security 2020, and the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Code. Okay, so these are the major ones that are there. Okay, so you need to know the 4 codes that are there along with their names, right? Along with that, there has been some protest as well by the trade unions and all, which are saying that it is an anti-worker or anti-employees codes are there. Okay, so it is pro the employers, that is what the process is being said. But it has led to lot of other reforms so that we are expanding the security network. Okay, तो क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग? कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हम expand कर पाए workers के rights को, specifically जैसे night shift working होती है women के लिए, ठीक है, free health checkups for the all the workers who are aged above 40 years. Then ESIC coverage मिले उनको pan India level पर, then single registration platform हो, and of course these are the other benefits that they are going to be given. Along with that, we are also talking about formation of a National Occupational Safety Health Board. तो OSH ये जो है इस board का establishment भी होगा as per the new labor codes. Okay, So they have also defined, this time the labor codes are also defining the gig workers, the platform workers and the aggregators for the first time. Okay, so these are all the labor codes. You need to remember their name, the provisions, and of course what are the guarantees that they are getting. Okay, right? So this is there. Coming to the next one, a small article that is, I think most of you must have ignored this, but this is important from the perspective of your GS paper 3, specifically the environment and ecology. So protesters clash with the police for a second time at the Sangai festival. Okay, Sangai festival. So we are talking about Manipur. Manipur is famous for the Sangai deer, that is the state animal of Manipur, which is basically a brown antlered deer. Okay, and there is a festival which is celebrated annually in Manipur during the months of 21st to 30th November. एक festival celebrate करा जाता था हर साल, but हुआ ये है कि due to the situation that there has been in Manipur, it was not being celebrated from past few years, right? So the festival of oneness, that is the Sangai festival, right? And it has been named after Sangai. That's but obvious because you know Sangai is a state animal of Manipur, and this deer is also known as the dancing deer, and also you know the very famous national park, that is the Kubalam National Park, that is basically one of the largest habitat of the Sangai deer. Okay, then of course your Sangai deer's endangered IUCN status, Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act के Schedule 1 में आता है. So the protection status of this Sangai deer is very important. Along with that, you need to also understand that there is the Loktak Lake which is there in Manipur and this Kubalam National Park, and Loktak Lake is one of the Ramsar sites. It's a very important wetland, and also the one more point, that is the specific biomass formation that we find in this Loktak Lake, which are called the Fumdis. तो आपने देखा होगा ग्रीन कलर के बड़े बड़े पैचेस हैं लैंड के और ऑफ grasses or the biomass that we can see, which are called the Fumdis, and we call this Kubalam National Park as the floating national park, only floating national park that is there, right? So that's about the Sangai festival, right? Then coming to the next one, so Sangai deer becomes important for the exam perspective, specifically the prelims. Now coming to the page number 6, here they are talking about rethinking a symbol of environment responsibility. यहाँ पर क्या बात कर रहे हैं इस आर्टिकल में? they are talking about that we have seen industrial estates, we have seen big industries units whereby we are trying to make those areas more green, but there have been some reforms whereby we are trying to ease the methods and we are basically trying to remove the greenness from these industrial units. तो यहाँ पर ये कहा जा रहा है कि एक growing trend दिख रहा है of reducing the green cover requirements for the industrial estates or units, so that we can basically bring them down ease of doing the business. मतलब उनका हम एक तरीके से burden remove करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आपको ये जो green infrastructure बनाने का आपके ऊपर burden था वो उन industries के ऊपर reduce हो जाए. But the important thing that we need to understand is whatever green infrastructure, whatever greenery we are creating artificially, basically अगर हम किसी industrial unit के अंदर कुछ भी greenery कर रहे हैं, potted plants लगा रहे हैं या artificial vertical gardening कर रहे हैं, these all things are just for the small benefits that we are getting. For example, they can help us in getting some amount of pure air that we can get. They act as a noise barrier, they act in trapping the pollutants also. But instead of that, if we compare it with the major ecosystem services that we are getting from a big patch of forest, वो हमें इन छोटे छोटे हैबिट से या इन छोटी छोटी एक्टिविटीज से कभी नहीं मिल सकती. जो न्यूट्रिएंट साइक्लिंग होती थी, जो हमारे बाकी के प्रोसेसेस है, जो बायोडाइवर्सिटी को हैबिटेट मिलता था, क्या वो इन सारी एक्टिविटीज से मिल सकता है? नो, दैट इज नॉट अचीवेबल. सो दैट इज व्हाट दे आर कंपेयरिंग. Also they have talked about another thing, that the countries, when we are talking about countries, we are comparing India with other countries कि वहाँ की इंडस्ट्रीज के ऊपर बर्डन ईज करने के लिए ग्रीनरी करी जाती है या आर्टिफिशियल वे में वी ट्राई टू इम्प्रूव द ग्रीन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. They are saying that it is not valid to compare India with the other countries, keeping in mind the population density of India. Along with that, we also need to understand that those countries are having more space than India. So वहाँ पर जो space है ना, वो already as a natural buffer act करता है. Here it is not acting like that. So we have to have very country specific or region specific methods, right? So I'll just quickly go through here one thing that they are saying, are we mistaking the convenience for sustainability? So they are saying while industrial development inevitably entails ecological alteration, including the clearing of vegetation and habitats, it is critical to recognize that on-site green belts cannot compensate for the broader ecological losses that are having because of the land conversion. डेवलपमेंट अगर होगी तो ऑफ कोर्स वी विल ऑल्टर द इकोलॉजी, वी विल ऑल्टर द इकोसिस्टम. अगर हमें फैक्ट्री इस्टेब्लिश करनी है तो वी विल बी कटिंग द फॉरेस्ट्स. एंड वी ऑल्सो नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर हम जो भी ग्रीन बेल्ट्स का डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं किसी भी एक पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट में, दैट कैन नॉट कॉम्पनसेट फॉर द इकोलॉजिकल सिस्टम्स और द सर्विसेज दैट द फॉरेस्ट यूज टू प्रोवाइड इन दैट लैंड. That is what they are saying. So green belts will provide us some localized benefits. For example, it can help in microclimate regulation. Then it can help in dust suppression. It can help as a buffer between to control the noise pollution. But they do not restore the forest functions, biodiversity or the ecosystem resilience. That is what they have talked. So these small habits of green barrier and all of these that we are doing, I am saying that these are essential. बट आप बड़े पर्सपेक्टिव में कंपेयर करेंगे तो दे आर जस्ट अ स्मॉल पार्ट ऑफ द बेसिक सर्विसेज दैट वी आर गेटिंग. सो दीज आर ऑल जस्ट मिटिगेटिव मेजर्स, नॉट द रेस्टोरेटिव मेजर्स. ओके, देन ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव टू they can help in reducing the noise pollution and all of that, improving the air quality by acting as a barrier. All of these things are there, but of course they will not act as a major carbon sink, right? That is what they have talked here. Okay, and then they've also talked about that all of these things apply to, in contrast, if we see with when we are having region specific approaches, that is more essential rather than just putting up the one size fit approach to all the industries. Okay, so that is what they have talked in this article. Clear? I hope it is clear to all of you. Then coming to the next article, overcoming resistance. Now this is related to your science and tech part, specifically we can say the biology section, okay, and it is talking about the antimicrobial resistance. Now we have previously covered this article multiple times, that in India we see a prevalence of the antimicrobial resistance, that the bodies or the humans have developed resistance to the basic antibiotics. Okay, and we have revamped the National Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance, that is the 2.0 plan. So it is basically acknowledging that yes, there are some marginal gains जो हमारे पहले provision में हुए थे, but अभी भी बहुत सारी implementation हमें करने की ज़रूरत है. ठीक है, and WHO ने भी ये बताया है कि Global Antibiotic Resistance Surveillance Report के according we have in 2023 approximately 1 in 3 bacterial infections in India were resistant to the commonly used antibiotics. So this is very important. Good evening beta Sharma, I cannot see your name beta. Okay, good evening, and good evening Yashi, good evening to all the students. Okay, so they are saying that we are disproportionately affected. There are a lot of factors by which we are affected. Number one, there is a high infectious diseases burden that is already there on India. हमारी population बहुत ज़्यादा है और infectious disease का burden already बहुत है हमारे ऊपर. Surveillance के approach के अंदर loop holes है. हेल्थ केयर के अंदर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अभी भी लैक कर रहा है, बहुत सारे जो टियर 2 टियर 3 सिटीज़ है वहाँ पर. ठीक है, एंड ऑफ कोर्स देन इकोलाई एंड क्लेब्सियलिया न्यूमोनिया हैव एग्जिबिटेड द हाईएस्ट रेजिस्टेंस to the critical antibiotics. These two strains are the ones जो highly resistant हैं to the antibiotics. Okay, so that is all that they have talked, and here they have come up with that this national action plan is basically taking lot of other initiatives and lot of it is basically having the one health approach. ओके जहां पर सिर्फ आपको मेडिसिन देने पे फोकस नहीं किया जाएगा, जहां पर आपकी डाइट, जहां पर आपकी मेंटल हेल्थ, जहां पर आपके बाकी और अर्ली डायग्नोसिस, सारी चीज़ों को हम कंसिडर करेंगे. ओके, ओनली देन वी कैन फाइट दिस एंटी माइक्रोबियल रेजिस्टेंस दैट इज देयर इन द कंट्री, along with the effective coordination from the different agencies, along with the stopping of the over the counter use of the antibiotics, over exploitation of the drugs, and proper training of the pharmacists. Everything needs to be regulated, so we need to have a one health approach. Okay, that is what they have talked here, right? Coming to the next article, that is important. Now this was a very big article that was there on one of the pages, on page number 7. Now here they have talked about a snake bite that sparked a change. Okay, so यहाँ पर किस चीज़ की बात हो रही है? snake bite की बात हो रही है. Now to your surprise, you will be surprised to understand that in India almost annually 58,000 people are dying because of the snake bites. Global level में अगर हम देखें तो almost half of the global deaths that are happening because of snake bites are happening in India. So snake bites, okay, सांप के काटने से, because the snakes have venom. Now in India we have almost 300 types of snakes. Okay, हमारे इंडिया में almost 300 types के snakes हैं, but not all snakes are venomous. सभी snakes के अंदर venom नहीं होता. There are major 60 species or 60 snakes that are venomous. Okay, so कुछ ऐसे भी हैं जिनके अंदर venom नहीं है, जहर नहीं है. ठीक है, so that you need to understand, and we have a national action plan. That plan is the National Action Plan for Prevention and Control of Snake Bite and Venoming. ठीक है, so what is this program? This program's aim is to halve the number of snake bite deaths by 2030. Okay, so they are saying कि हम कोशिश करेंगे, इस मिशन का बेसिक एम क्या है कि हमें हाफ कर देनी है the snake bite deaths that are happening, okay, by 2030. Now one more thing that you need to understand, that this mission is important. Along with that you need to understand that the venom, जो snake का venom होता है, that is, Sudhakar, yes beta, what are you saying? We have the venom. This venom of the snakes has lot of toxins. इसके अंदर क्या होते हैं? बहुत सारे toxins होते हैं, and these toxins can affect your central nervous system. So there are neurotoxins, some of them have hepatotoxins, some have the toxins that impact your bloodstream. Okay, so there are different type of toxins in the snake's venom. Now in India we also have antivenoms that are developed. Antivenoms मतलब वो proteins या वो venoms का complex that will act as a counter to the venom, to the poison. So हम antivenom कैसे बनाते हैं? We basically extract the venom from the snakes. हम snakes को capture करते हैं, उनके अंदर से venom extract करते हैं. We inject that venom into an animal. We inject it into an animal's body. Okay, animal की body में हमने वो venom inject करा, and animal की body क्या करेगी? एंटी वेनम प्रोड्यूस करेगी, मतलब एंटीबॉडीज प्रोड्यूस करेगी उसके अगेंस्ट. अगर आपकी बॉडी में कोई भी चीज़ फॉरेन मटेरियल एंटर करता है तो आपकी बॉडी काउंटर करके एंड उसके लिए कुछ प्रोटीन्स बनाती है, कुछ एंटीबॉडीज बनाती है. सो वी गेट द एंटीबॉडीज फ्रॉम दैट ब्लड स्ट्रीम ऑफ दैट एनिमल. वी एक्सट्रैक्ट दोज एंटीबॉडीज एंड वी add some stabilizers in that, and finally we get an anti-venom. Okay, we get an anti-venom. Right now there are certain tribes in India, for example the very famous Irula tribe. Irula tribe जो है तमिलनाडु की, very famous for the, they are also called the snake catchers. Okay, this tribe is playing a very important role in the production of the anti-venoms. Okay, and of course India is the largest producer, one of the largest producer and consumer of antivenoms. So anti-venoms, Irula tribe is important, okay, they are playing a very important role in the anti-venom production. Along with that, there are the big 4 snakes in India, okay, जिनसे हम बनाते हैं polyvalent venom. Polyvalent anti-venom क्या होता है, which is made, that anti-venom that is made from the venoms of these big 4 snakes of India, right? So that are the Indian cobra, the saw-scaled viper, we have the Russell's viper and the common krait. Okay, these are the ones that are the major big 4 snakes that are there. Now snakes snakes जो होते हैं, they come under the reptiles, and snakes are basically of having different modes of reproduction. So you have egg laying snakes also who lay eggs, who are oviparous, meaning they can lay eggs, and you also have snakes which give birth to a young snake, so that are called viviparous. Okay, तो snakes egg laying भी होते हैं और snakes हो सकते हैं हमारे एग लेइंग भी, और विविपैरस मतलब इंडिविजुअल को बर्थ देने वाले स्नेक्स भी होते हैं. एंड हमारे जो रूरल कम्युनिटीज़ हैं, ऑफ कोर्स दे आर द मेजर वंस दैट आर इम्पैक्टेड, बिकॉज स्नेक्स यू विल फाइंड मोर इन द रूरल एरियाज, राइट. सो दे आर मोस्टली इम्पैक्टेड बाय द स्नेक बाइट्स, right. So there are, see, UPSC has multiple times they have asked questions. So you can see the question that they've asked in 2008. They have asked a question. I'll just zoom it for you. First one is, king cobra is the only snake that makes its own nest. So why does this snake is making its nest? Because this is an egg laying snake. So king cobra is the one which lays an egg. That is why it is forming a nest. Similarly, there are some snakes which don't lay eggs. For example, anacondas are there. Okay, you must have seen the anaconda movie. Then which one of the following snakes is the having the diet of composed of other snakes? वो दूसरे snakes को ही खा जाता है, ऐसे भी snakes होते हैं. So that is again the king cobra, right? Then we have another question that was asked in 2019. So read the last statement. Some species of snakes are viviparous. Others are related to turtles, fishes and mammals. The fourth statement is related to the snakes. Here also we have the option as D, because snakes can be viviparous also and some species can be oviparous also. So snake bite is important, and snakes as a species is very important, keeping in mind the questions that have been asked. Okay, so I hope this is clear, and please just remember this national action plan for the prevention of the snake bites. Okay, right? Yes, D is the right answer. Okay, so thank you very much. These were all the articles that were there from today's newspaper. Sangai festival important, just remember that. And Loktak Lake, you should remember that it's a site in the Montreal record also of the Ramsar list. Montreal record, just go and revise that those sites that are facing lot of ecological damage or ongoing, or it has already happened due to the intervention of human interference. Similarly, Montreal record में दूसरी site कौन सी आती है? That's Keola Deo. So that's how you connect and learn everything. Okay, so thank you very much. और majorly आज के articles जो थे वो prelims के perspective से ज़्यादा important थे, right? So thank you very much. If there's anything, please mention in the comment box. I will definitely reply to that. Have a good evening.